All right, welcome in to the weekly round. I tell you, we have a lot of very, very exciting things happening, not only in through the country, in this company that I own, um, in the NFL, got lots of exciting things. Who would have thought? Week 9, walking into week 9 of the NFL, the Giants of all teams, the Giants will be sitting at 6-2. I'm almost certain that Mr. Brian Dayball has a lot to do with that. I think here in the next 3 months, we'll actually have him on the show, which will be very exciting for us. We have a contact, and from the looks of it, looks like we're going to have him on the show. So, just with that said, keep that, put a pin in that, and we'll be looking forward to that. Another thing we have going on, we have lots of really cool things coming out in the works early next year. So keep your eyes peeled. We have a lot of fun giveaways here in the next few months for Christmas. Also, we have the midterms coming up. Not only that, we have a campaign running at the moment. 11 days, 11 veterans. We're going to have them on. So far, we've been, I like to call it raw and true. We've had them breaking kind of barriers. So far, we've had a Mr. Aubrey Rogers. The kid has overcome so much in his life, so much, and I think he's the pillar of what we all try to strive for. He's a very brave and courageous young man. He is an example of an individual that was broken when he came into the military, and before he came into the military, he was a little broken. So when he got out, he was using that confidence that the military gave him to kind of put up a front, and he fell hard when he got out. Luckily for him, he's completely turned his life around, and he's really making it. He's making something of himself, and he's doing a really good job. And you can have your opinion of him any shape, way, or form that you want to, but at the bottom line is the kid's making it. He's contributing to our society, and he's not making excuses. And that is, you can only respect everything that he does, because he's a very courageous young man. The first day we had a Mr. Brandon Smith on. He's doing lots of great things. It's good to see that we have veterans in our communities that are pillars of the communities, right? We have these veterans that, once again, we're all broken when we come in, right? We have to be if we're going to join the Marine Corps, especially, or any branch of the service for that matter. Not the Air Force. Air Force is a complete. It's Air Force is what, 60% women. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'll leave it at that. So, back to Brandon Smith. He's in the Tampa area, making and wheeling and dealing. He's got his company up and running and making things happen there in the Tampa area. He had lots of really great things to say about the flag and how he felt about the national anthem. He's got really a lot of really great things about his family. He's making really great things happen for his family, and you can only but support and be happy for the young man. Another individual that we took overseas. Then we had a Mr. Brian Cross on yesterday. Holy smokes, once again, that's another guy that I have nothing but respect for. And you should also, because he's a very genuine fella. He'll give you the shirt off his back, and just like we talked about when we lost some guys that we served with, when we finally caught back up after 10 years of not talking, just no communication, we just picked up exactly where we left off, with nothing but mutual respect, admiration, and compassion for one another. So those people that say military guys are hard and they don't give a whatever and this and that, I kind of challenge that because I have three examples of that, and I'm almost certain that we're going to have a very good example of that tonight. So tonight I have a Justin Edwards on our show. He is a young man that I worked with in the air wing of the Marine Corps. We worked on Harriers together, the AV-8B. That is the airplane that flies straight up. It'll actually fly backwards. It's the only airplane in the United States. I'm pretty sure there's another one somewhere on the fixed wing side that will fly backwards. So it's a very interesting bird. They don't make them anymore, and I'm pretty sure they're completely phased out now. And it's funny because when we were going through, when I first got to my fleet in 2000, the Fleet Marine Force in 2001, it was late 2001 maybe, and it was the talk of the town. Harriers weren't going to be around much longer. 2005 maybe. 2005, that's when all the Harriers are going to get phased out, and we're not going to have Harriers anymore. Remember that. And sure enough, I think the last Harrier squadron came offline 2021, 2022. So that was all kind of hogwash. These guys you fight in the trenches with. Not traditionally fight in the trenches, but when you get to the squadron, typically to a gun squadron, you're the new guy, you immediately are put on night crew. Night crew means you work from 3 p.m. until the flight everything's fixed, turned around, dailied, and put in the flight schedule. If you don't have the flight schedule, nobody's going home. So day crew works their 10-hour day. They work from 06 to 1600, and shortly after that, after 1600, you do the changeover with night crew, and night crew's there until it just happens. So anyway, back to my point. The trenches. You work all night, every night, and it's just brutal. And you grow to really care about those guys because you're with them more than you're with your family. You're working 90 hours a week, 90 to 100 hours a week, and that's if you're on deployment. It's 12 on, 12 off. Think about that. Like everyone that's listening, if you had to work for 7 straight months, you had to work from 6 in the morning to 6 at night, or vice versa. You work night crew, you work 6 at night to 6 in the morning every day. Wouldn't you shit an egg? You'd lose your mind. I've been around people that I've asked just to work 8 hours a day, and they become unglued. So, you're with these people so much, and that's why I think, and I love doing this campaign because it truly shows these people I haven't talked to. I swear I haven't talked to these people outside of when we lost friends to suicide. I haven't talked to any of these people, and it's almost like we haven't stopped talking, and you'll see that pretty much every day. Every day we'll have a new individual on, and it will almost be like you will look at us and say, no, you've had to have kept up with that person. Listen to the stories you're telling. You had to have kept up with that person. I swear. I haven't. The last 14 years I've been with my wife. So I haven't talked to anybody. So, you know how that is. Anybody that's married knows exactly what I'm talking about. My point, once again, is soon we're going to have a guy named Brandon Nofire. And I'm going to tell you a Brandon Nofire story. So Brandon Nofire, oh man, he's a normal guy, but he's got a normal sized head, but for some reason God gave him one brain that has the ability to operate as 2 brains. super smart kid. Oh my goodness gracious, super smart kid. Him and his wife just had a little baby, and it's absolutely adorable. My point is, I can't wait to check up with that guy, because when we would play spades in Iraq with the group, and I don't know how he did it. I still make fun of him. I don't know how he did it. He would have three of the top six cards in the deck, and somehow he would always get nil. I would get angry at him, and I was a sergeant. He was a lance corporal, and and he would laugh, but he would go, I'm sorry, sergeant." Like, it's no fire. I don't know how you always do it. It's not fair that you're as smart as you are. Anyway, so yeah, we have a lot of really great times. Um, I would love to get a Mr. Adam Tankersley on. He was an amazing guy, but today, unfortunately, fortunately, today we have a Justin Edwards. Hands down, he's an amazing young man. He stayed in for his time. He's retiring soon, and always a hard worker, always a smart kid. Um, he would get himself in trouble here and there, but who doesn't? That's just how it is. And I'm looking forward to my conversation with him. It would probably be another one of those where, the last time I talked to Justin, it was when we lost one of our buddies, and we if you pay attention to the Harrier community or Marine Corps aviation, every industry that you get into, everyone always says that's a very small industry. Everyone in that industry is very, very tight knit. The Harrier community, very, very small group of people, very small. Everyone knows everybody, and it's the same way. We absolutely, everyone knows everybody, and we know everything about one another. And I think that's how this campaign runs, as easy as it does. We have a lot of mutual respect for one another, a lot of true raw emotion, and we just care about one another through and through. And it's not only therapeutic for me, but I hope you guys get something from it also. Once again, I said it before, that you guys go, you see friends and family during the holidays. Hey, happy Veterans Day, and hey, I'm giving you something so you can actually you feel the tickle, and you see kind of what we're saying and how we feel. But can't say it enough. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate everybody liking, sharing, growing, and subscribing to our channel, making it grow. We're making it grow more and more every day. It's exploding here and there, and we're doing everything right. Doing everything right. So before we get Justin on, we're gonna jump here to commercial real quick, and then we'll grab Justin and we'll bring him in. Thanks again for listening. Do you find yourself shooting dinosaurs? Do you find yourself in the need to shoot spiders? Let us take care of all your gun, ammunition, and accessory needs. While you're at it, do you have a problem with monsters?
I was not ready for that.
Right there. Weekly rounders. Coming in hot, just like usual. Appreciate everyone coming in and watching the show. This is day four of saluting veterans. We've got 11 days of putting up with me. We have a Mr. Justin Edwards. All right, sir. Introduce yourself to the weekly rounders.
Hello, everybody. I'm Justin Edwards. I'm a United States Marine, still in. I just finished 20 years, and I'm about to go into my retirement period. I'm a father of four, been married for 17 years, and I own a small business. That's about me. Oh, and I'm a gunny in the Marine Corps right now. So,
come on, man. I remember when we were sharing living space in Iraq, and it was great time. Um, so Gargani went shortly after we got back, and he told me that the same living spaces that we were in, they now have like internet 24/7 and TV and all sorts of craziness. Is that true?
Um, yeah, I know that when we were out there, we didn't have anything, you and I, obviously, but the capabilities have grown tremendously. I heard a bunch of dudes that went out there after we got back as well, and they said that it was just like a home away from home, almost like Kuwait was. Um, but even in on my last deployment, some of my guys went to Djibouti. Well, I went to Djibouti too, but some of my guys went to one of the camps there, and they had everything. They even had beer tickets there, and they were able to get a beer, 2 beers a week or something like that.
Oh my God.
Craziness.
Of course.
It's a different beast now.
Jeez Louise, man. I tell you what, I bet it's a mess, man. You remember when we first started getting everything set up? Remember the third country nationals that we'd hand them our bank card and they'd let us in the chow hall and they were supposed to be checking our IDs.
Checking ID.
Yeah, checking our IDs or giving them our bank card.
Those were also the same ones that messed Frost up. Remember whenever they poisoned all of us with the fruit while we were out there? So
Yeah.
everybody got a case of the dragons or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my God. I forgot all about that. Oh yeah. Frost had a he was talking about shitting in a
A bowl.
Dixie cup in a bowl. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, I forgot all about that. That was a crazy deployment. Lots of insane stuff happened on that deployment. We had we had some guys, I don't want to call anybody out. It was a crazy deployment. It absolutely was just nuts. Everyone definitely learned what they were made of. Crazy deployment. So
Yeah,
you heard of
definitely.
what's that? I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, definitely crazy deployment. I thought you just triggered so many memories, like the bike accident with
Oh,
one
the
of our
bike accident.
corporals, and then he forgot where he
Dude,
was.
tell everybody about the bike accident. Everybody will get a kick out of
Okay, all right. All right. So actually, I think it was you and I working the line. We were down at that has, like the second has, the one like right after the blown up has, and we were working on a bird, and we had those trikes that we would haul our toolboxes in. I don't know who gave them to us, but they were like yellow or something like that. But then we also had like normal bikes, and then one of the corporals from the Mew, I think he came from the Mew when the Mew came and met us
that. It
there.
was Grimes.
And you said we weren't going to name any names though.
Oh well.
Oh, grimy! He just comes like, oh, like, like coming around the corner, looking like he didn't know where he was. And we were like, "Hey, Grimes, what happened?" And he's just like, he didn't have his toolbox, he didn't have his cranial, he didn't have nothing, and he's just walking around like with birds flying around his head. And we're like, Grimes, what happened? He's like, where am I? And he was so jacked up. We had to take him to medical and everything because he had hit his head. And then after that, they started making us wear our cranials on those bikes, and they took the bikes away from us completely because of FOD.
No,
Thanks, Grimes.
because he'd always ride the bike up and down the flight line, and he'd have his
Yeah.
hands in his pockets while riding the bike, and he hit one of the holes in the flight line. The front tire went
Oh,
in, and he
oh
went head
my
over heels,
gosh.
and he ate pavement, man. That was so funny. Like, dude, like we remember we were clowning on him because um, you know, we're medevacing him out of Al Assad, and we're like clowning after he left. We're clowning about the call, like, hey, yeah, we have a Marine. We have to get him out ASAP. Oh, what was he attacked or something? No, he fell off a bike. The guy
He
fell
did a
off
he
a
did a
bike.
he did a what? He did
Yeah.
a what? There was a bike?
A what? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
that that is
god.
that is so funny. Just
So
all
it
those
was.
memories waking up in the middle waking up in the middle of the morning just sweating because throughout the night like the AC had went out and
Yeah.
you're just man, that was oh
That was absolutely fun times, man. Absolutely fun times. Holy smokes. So what's changed, man? What's changed in 10, almost 12 years since I've been out? What's changed?
a lot. I mean, so I stayed in because I wanted to complete the game. All right. Like that was my goal whenever I joined. I wanted to complete the game of the Marine Corps. Everything I kind of look as a game. And I'm gonna tell you what, these past I'd say about 8 years have been rough. Um, the the inclusion and everything like that. It was a mountain that we had that we should have like never had. People are capable of whatever they put their mind to, but we made such a big deal about it that now like we have to go through inclusion briefs and stuff like that, and it's that changed. The leadership coming out of Iraq and Afghanistan, everything changed. Everything went into a garrison mindset, and people still wanted to deploy, so they were training like they were going to deploy, but most of the people training like they were going to deploy had never deployed. So now you have people leading people that are brand new that don't even know what a deployment is. So I mean, a lot has changed when the cutbacks happened and downsizing happened. So many good Marines got taken out. I'm talking, you know, Marines that were running 285 PFTs, CFTs, but were overweight because they were bulk. They were just big meatheads. And I mean, we have meatheads that just were such good workers, and now they're gone.
Yeah,
And
that was
so,
me, man. That was me. I reenlisted, and I was gonna reenlist again, and I was just like snow. I was like a bigger guy, and but
yeah,
I ran a first class. I ran like a 250, 260, and
yeah,
yeah, and I weighed in my last weigh in. I weighed in 181, and I had to weigh 180, and I was like, seriously, like you guys are gonna like basically ruin my career over 1 pound, and they're like, yeah, like, oh fuck this, man, I'm done.
yeah. And the thing is like we had a problem over here. Whenever I got to California, it's a different mindset over here. Definitely. I mean, us coming to El Centro and stuff like that, on those mini debts that we would do, it didn't give you the real taste of California Marines. And I'm gonna tell you what, coming here, it was eye opening. The Marines that were weighing in the Marines that were heavy were way overweight themselves. And so you're watching these people, and then the leadership is allowing it to happen. And so, I mean, it's crazy. But I will tell you one thing, though, man. They are going back to the way it used to be. They're slowly learning, and what are they called? Doxy scans. The scan that they now do, I think I forget what it's not a doxy scan because doxy is the medication we go on for malaria. Um, but either way, it's the scan. They're doing body fat scans now. So now the whole taping and everything like that they did, they're slowly getting away from that. They're slowly getting smart. Um, the PFT did change though. So the old man PFT that I was getting a first class, even after shoulder bicep surgery, hip surgery, uh, all that, they got rid of that and it stayed the same, but all the scores went down. So now you still have to get a 220 or whatever. There's no old man PFT anymore, and or CFT either, and all the numbers went up. So now like they think that as you get older, your muscles grow a lot bigger, and so you should be able to do more. They don't take into account like the humps, carrying toolboxes and radar packages and jennies. Like, oh, we don't have a cart. Well, carry the jenny out
Yeah.
there. Like, they don't think about that. That was really why I did a lat move after my first enlistment, because I couldn't do the aviation side of stuff anymore, and I wanted to do something that was going to set me up for later on. But yeah, man, they're changing a lot. So like a lot changed for like the worse. Like don't ask, don't tell. Let's get rid of it. But at the same time, like let's force it down your throat instead of just letting it disappear into the distance and letting those same people serve that were already kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah,
But now they don't have to hide anything. They're not in the shadows. Now all those people that were hiding that for it never I never understood the don't ask, don't tell. Like I sure whatever, man, like orders are orders, but I never understood that. Like we had such good workers that were part of the LGBTQ community. Like, why does that even matter, man? They're working.
totally.
They signed the same contract. They went to the same boot camp. They did the same stuff. Like, so now it just adds more briefs to everything. Now we have 101 days of summer and stuff. So a lot of things changed, but a lot of things are really getting back. DECA scans, I think is what they're called, by the way. A lot of things are going back to a good way.
Good.
But I mean, we've had leadership questioning higher leadership, with that whole lieutenant colonel thing that happened. So like, you know, I think a lot of people are seeing stuff and they're implementing those changes. So I think we're headed down a better path now.
Good.
Definitely.
Real good. Yeah, I heard they took out the crunches and you're doing planks now.
Plank. Yeah, planks.
How's that work? How's that work?
Well, it's about an hour of a plank, but you only get credit for 1 minute, or I think that's how it works because it seems like it. So the plank is they say a minute isn't that long, but man, when you're in a plank, that's the longest time. Fortunately for me, I did my last PFT last season, so they didn't implement the standardization, or they didn't make us do planks. So I got to do crunches. So I did my 110 crunches. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Now we have to do 110 crunches instead of 100 crunches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
so like it
man.
went up. Now it's like 115. Were you in during CFTs?
Yep.
Yes. So now CFTs you have to do like more ammo can lifts because you're older.
Okay. Okay.
Because you're stronger, man. You're stronger. But yeah, I think implementing the plank was solid. They're really getting smart. They're putting a lot of money into the physical side of the military, or of the Marine Corps at least. Our gyms have boxes for CrossFitters. They're open longer now. They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot when it comes to the physical side of things. Now you can actually request a nutritionist come to your command, and there's a certified nutritionist that'll come and talk to your BCP Marines and things like that. So that's definitely a good thing that's actually happening. And then with the DECA scans, they're really going in a good way with this. So I think we're going to keep a lot of people that are good workers, especially in the IT community, because we have a lot of IT dudes. Me being in IT now, that they're gamers, man. They get heavy, but they're still fast runners or whatever. They can still run first class, no cheating involved, And so I think we're doing really well. We're on a good path.
Real good, man. So you remember the Vegas trip? All the airplanes, all the jets that were on the flight line and all that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, man.
That was, I'd say hands down, that was probably my best deployment. All the planes from around the world, the Israeli jets, and that was just hands down, man. That was a fun time.
Red Flag.
Yep, Operation Red Flag. Yep, that's right, sir.
When dude, that
was crazy.
Was such a good day.
Every single night. Were you on night crew with us?
I was, because we would get everything done quick. Because it was just like go to the strip. It was awesome.
Go to work every night at 1600 and be on the strip by 2100 every single night. Every single night we'd get there, do maintenance meeting, kick out day crew, be like, all right, everyone gather their government visas. We'd all hand them to Luke. Luke would run down the line. He'd always come back with like 20 government visa cards and this big huge box of food and hand it out.
That truck, man, that freaking truck, dude.
Oh yeah,
that food truck. That woman was so nice, and she had the best burritos. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
What was the name of that hotel, man? That hotel
Arizona Charlies, baby. Arizona Charlies. Man, life
I
changing.
actually, I actually got in trouble on that deployment because at the time I wasn't married, and I went to a Wendy's, and I was in camis because I was the driver, the duty driver that night, and the girl that served us food was like, "Oh, you're in the army or whatever," and I was like, "No, man." And my wife was, or my girlfriend at the time was on the phone, and she was like, "Who is it?" Like flipping out. It was so funny. That was such Arizona Charlie. I have been trying to
Arizona
remember that
Charlies,
for
baby.
years.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's
Man,
great deployment, man. Oh my goodness
gosh.
gracious. Great deployment. When you came in, did we have Harris and Hinkle? Was Hinkle there?
Name sounds familiar.
I don't know if maybe it was. Were you before or after Trout?
I was uh I was right after Trout.
Right
He
after
was a class
Trout. Okay.
before me. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's. I think he had some Hinkle action. No big deal, man. Yeah, holy smokes, yeah, great time, absolutely great time. It was. I will never forget. Um, Friday, 1600, we sent Hinkle and Harris out on the flight line, just to collect, uh, just to collect. Uh, they went to go get clamshell panels, right? And
Oh
like, hey,
gosh.
what the heck? What's taking them so long? They come in with with the shopping cart with 16 clamshell panels and a big huge bag of fasteners. Like, oh, it looks like we're not going home today. Like, you guys need to put them in
Oh
separate bags. You guys are like the two most senior
my
people in the
gosh.
shop, and you guys didn't do this. I did. That's why I brought it up. I didn't know if you remember that. It was probably
No,
that was a
no, that is so
yes.
funny. No, man, like uh I remember like it was a Friday. One of my crap stories was it was a Friday, and I went to go. I was doing something in one of the 60 panels, and we were supposed to be getting out of there, and I dropped a screw or something, and we could not find that thing. And top midkip came out there, and he was like, "Where is it?" And then Tank went and got the scope, and I was trying to scope it, and Tank had the scope in his pants, in his
Yeah.
coverall. And I was like, all I see is a huge caterpillar in here. I don't know what it is.
Oh my gosh. You're.
And then Martin, do you remember Martin?
Oh yeah. When he
Oh,
fell,
teeth.
tripped
We
over
had to
the
quad walk for his teeth.
for his teeth because he fell. He tripped over the "Don't Trip" sign. He tripped over the
He
"Don't Trip"
tripped over
sign
the
and
don't
broke.
trip sign that was on fall away pedestals. Like they fell with him, but he didn't put his arms out. Like human reaction, man. Oh my gosh. And we had to quad
Oh
walk
my
for his
gosh!
freaking teeth.
Fun for his teeth. Tank. So in Iraq in '03, um, Newton would leave his camera out, and one day Sergeant Major came through and walked through the berthing, and he's like, "Listen, you guys need to straighten that up, and you need to straighten that up right now, or all you are going to pay for him not leaving his gear adrift." So we're like, "Okay, no problem, Sergeant Major." So we said to Newton, "Put your stuff away, man. Put your stuff away." And sure enough, because Newton was at the chow hall, so next day Newton leaves his stuff out, and I, I've never laughed so hard in my life. Tank taking Newton's camera, putting it in his drawers, and all you see is light coming out of every angle of Tank's pants. And he took like
Oh
20
my
pictures of
God.
his trouser snake. Like, Tank, oh my God. And Newton just didn't talk to us for, for like a week after that. He was so mad at us. He said his old lady took him get developed. That was back when we developed
that
film.
was
Oh my gosh, it was ancient ago.
that
And
was
she's like,
back when
just
we had film.
she said she like flipped through three or four of them, and she handed the guy the roll of film, and she said, "Will you please just remove all the bad ones?" And the guy looked at her and just threw them away. Like they're all bad.
They're all bad. Don't even worry about it. I already
Oh
looked
my
at them.
gosh, brother, we could
Man,
talk about it all night long, man.
so
It's
many good memories.
always good time. So, Dietz
But
lives close to me. He's doing
yeah,
real good. He's doing real
that's
good, man.
good.
It's always good to hear, guys doing good. Graz lives right by me. He's
I saw
remarried.
that picture of you guys.
Yeah, yeah. We went to the game, hockey game a few weeks ago. It's funny because we're going to talk a little bit about the national anthem. And when we're at the game, we're 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 jacked as can be, man. We're pretty
No way.
bombed.
No way.
and
Grass, no way.
and so national anthem comes on and we stand the national anthem, do the national anthem thing. We're sitting down and I'm like, man, I don't know what it is about the national anthem. If I'm at home, if I'm, here at the park, or if I'm at a hockey game, or I'm at a, midget football game, whatever. Anytime I hear the national anthem, I always get the tummy tingles. It's just I don't know what it is. It just always makes me feel good. So, it is what it is. But yeah, Graz is doing good. One thing that I'm hitting in this in this campaign here about the 11 veterans, 11 days type thing. Last year we lost about 4 guys to suicide. That we came up with. You remember Davis, right? He was Staff Sergeant Davis when you checked.
I know who. I got a story about him if you want to hear about Davis.
Yeah. Lay it out.
Hey man, but I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't know it was suicide.
Yes, sir. Yep.
All right. So Davis. So my name on Facebook is not my name, right?
Mm-hmm.
My name on Facebook is my name and middle name. Do you remember the guy by Ray? There was a dude that worked with us for a little bit. His last name was Ray. You might not. He was a little out there. Either way, Davis, I posted something, and Davis, Chief Warrant Officer Davis, says something to me like, "Hey, F you, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?" Like I was like, I got nasty with him. I'm like, dude, seriously? He's like, man, I'm working on your retirement right now. You're a piece of shit, blah blah blah. And I was like, so I called him, I video called him, and I was like, Davis, seriously, dude, we were friends. Like, why are you talking like this to me? And he popped up and he was like, oh my gosh, you are not who I thought you were. Why is your name wrong on Facebook? And I was like, dude, it's me, it's Edwards, bro. And he goes, hey man, I am so sorry, because he was talking like he was being nasty, dude. And so him and I talked for over an hour, just about old times,
Mm-hmm.
about Teresa,
Scott,
and how Scott choked me out that one day in the shop. Him and I sat on the phone. Yeah, and freaking Palmer just stared at me while I had seizures on the ground. Thanks, Scott, by the way. But him and I talked for over an hour, bro, and we literally talked about everything that we had been through, just what we're doing right now, what you and I are doing right now. And then it was only a couple months, and I found out he was gone, and I was like, no way. No way. My friend that I just spoke to is gone. That dude that laughed all the time, that was just, he was such a good dude to be around.
Oh, he was, man.
Like,
he was.
In the worst times, he was always there to make you better. But it's always those. He was a Robin Williams amongst us, is all he was.
Bro.
Who else?
Bro. No matter what, anytime you're eating a shit sandwich, it was always good to have Davis with you. He was just that.
He was the mustard on it, bro.
Yeah,
he was the mustard on it.
It's the truth,
so
man.
Who else have we lost? Who else?
So we lost Vargas. Vargas took his own life early this year in January. Vargas was he was my student actually and then he went to 203. We lost Farr. He was at 203 power line. Oh man, we lost 4 in 5 months, and then
Mhm.
we lost three other ones last year. It's just crazy. It is what it is, and it's really just highlighting kind of that's the whole point of this, just highlighting that and ensuring that we always keep veterans in the back of our minds no matter what. Everyone always says when you're getting to that point, you're going to be getting out, and your life is about to 100% change. All the great things, the negatives outweigh the positives, right? It's the absolute truth. Because you remember how I was when when I was in. I was very charged. I had a lot of anger, and I had no balance, right? So when I got out, it took me a few years to find the balance, right? And I just expected my expectations of people in the civilian world were the same as our expectations on the flight line, and when people wouldn't work at their 8 hour mark and they would just leave. I'm like, no, you're not just leaving. I don't want to hear that you're leaving after your shift isn't over. I didn't tell you can go home. And yeah, so it's night and day different. And it's you got hey, you're smart. You're a lot smarter than I ever was, man. You'll figure it out. So, but
Well,
it's
yeah.
coming.
So back to our brothers, and sisters, you know, letting that demon eat them.
Yes,
I had
sir.
a, I had a Marine. I had a Marine. His name was David Flores. I'm going to call him out. David Flores. He was an outstanding guy, meritorious corporal, meritorious sergeant. David Flores had some issues with his spouse. Um, they had no children, but they had some issues, and so he was in the process of going through a divorce. But he got meritorious sergeant. I'm talking, this kid was phenomenal. When he got meritorious sergeant, he went out drinking. He got pulled over and got a DUI. He woke up the next morning and said, I'm going to handle this without my command knowing because I want that meritorious sergeant. And he went to his lawyer, and guess what? Got pulled over again and got another DUI. All right. So he was trying and he failed. Now, David Flores went on a spiral from there. At the time, I had done a lat move into data systems. I was a 0651, and my unit was deploying, but I was on limited duty because of what happened in Iraq. Whenever I fell off the aircraft, I got jacked up, and then during corporal's course is whenever I found out. So, um, so they put me as a legal chief. So I got to deal with David Flores and all of his problems. And my dad is a recovering. He's an alcoholic, right? He's still recovering. So I kind of knew about alcoholism.
Yeah.
And I talked to David Flores constantly. I became friends with David Flores. He was a Lance Corporal now because he had been busted down. He lost meritorious sergeant and lost corporals. Now he was Lance Corporal Flores. And he was still the same hard charger, even while he was signing his NJP paperwork.
Mm.
Now, Lance Corporal Flores uh, ended up getting back on the right. And he went to another meritorious board. And he didn't quite make it because of his weight, but he was still good mindset. His wife wanted to be with him again. He started working on his marriage. David Flores, his wife, ended up saying, never mind, about Christmas time frame. So David went out to, what was that place right outside the gate? Lollipops
And Lejeune
and Havelock.
or Cherry Point?
And Havelock.
Toppers?
No, maybe. Lolly. It was that ladies club,
Yeah.
all right, the
Yeah.
gentleman's club that was out there. And he took out money from his ATM and he purchased an 8 ball. And that night he snorted that whole 8 ball over that weekend. He snorted that whole 8 ball. Came back from the New Year's '96. He popped for cocaine. So I had to do his whole ad set for pattern of misconduct. David Flores got kicked out. David Flores went to prison because he had to serve time. Well, he went to jail, not prison. He had to serve time for his DUIs. He gave his time to he gave his money, he gave his time back to the government. He did what he was supposed to do. He was on the up and up. He met another woman. He was on the up and up. He moved back to Texas. Within 6 months, I found out David had taken his own life. Even though last time I spoke to him was right across the street from the Walmart in Havelock, and he was happy. He was moving with his girlfriend back home. Everything was good.
Yeah.
And that happened. And so I tell his story to a lot of my Marines because I want them to know that I was there for David the whole time. And I was only a phone call away and he knew my number. And I just wish he would have reached out because David would have been a great, great father. And he was a great person as long as he wasn't on drugs and as long as he wasn't on alcohol.
It's funny how it works, man. It'll absolutely destroy you. And I kind of broke it down in the first few segments of the campaign. You know, we are completely broken down and torn apart. And we joined the Marine Corps, and we have these two emotions. We have this love that we're taught before we joined, and we have this hatred that we were taught before we joined. And the Marine Corps kind of takes that love and suppresses it a little bit, and it takes that anger and it amplifies it, and it charges it up, and then they send us out into the Fleet Marine Force, and then you do your fleet, you do your time in the Marine Corps, and you do your time, you do your thing, and then you get out and you try to make the best of your brain and everything you have going on. And then if you figure it out and you figure out how to separate and kind of bring empathy and compassion back to your life, if you don't figure it out and you have if you have something that you're dependent on, and you battle against it, and you get your life back together, it takes one small thing for your whole entire life just to crumble, and then you're back on that dependency, and we see it so many times, and it's absolutely, it's sad. It's very, very sad that we have to see it. And just like when we lost Davis, I think when I found out, I reached out to 30, 40 people, and they all had the same exact reply that you had. Like, fuck, dude, I love you. If you ever have the problem, here's my number. Like, we haven't talked in 10, 15, almost 20 years, but you know what? I'll always love you. And here's my number. If you ever are walking that path, here's my number, because I don't ever want to read about you in the paper or get a text message from somebody about you,
Oh yeah.
It's the truth, man.
So hey, I'm gonna say something real quick, because what you just said about all the suppression, I want to get this out there. Something that people misunderstand. Thank goodness you're drinking that smart water. You need every ounce you can get.
I fill it up 3 times a day.
So I'm trying to get on this path, all right, to kind of get the word out there, because as Marines, we're taught emotions don't matter right now. You get shit done, all right. And I'm going to tell you, on Wednesday, my therapist let me go. My therapist graduated me from her program, and I'm very proud to come out and say that I, as a man, and I, as a Marine, went to therapy in order to get the help that I needed. Yes, because sir. A lot of people don't do that, dude, and a lot of people eat at it, and they just let it eat at them, really. So I went to therapy since 2015. It's been 7 years, and I finally graduated. I went through EMDR, which is dope. If anybody wants to go through that, find a therapist and go through EMDR. It will open up so much stuff that you will find the real you. And then I went through neurofeedback, which was cool, but I don't know what it did, but my therapist said it worked. But my point here is that my wife is happier. My children are happier. I am happier because I went out there and I admitted that I'm fucked up.
Amen.
The Marine Corps fucks you up. The military
It
fucks
does.
you up. You can't censor this. You know, you can't freaking, water it down. It happens. No matter what MOS you are, no matter what, the military jacks you up. And then on top of that, whatever childhood trauma you had, which is probably
Amen.
the reason you joined the damn military,
Yep.
is exactly what the military feeds off of. Hey, we need Uncle Sam's misguided children.
Mm-hmm.
Come on in, motherfuckers. And that
We'll
is,
take you at an armful.
yeah, and that
Yes,
and hey, nothing against it. Hey, good on them. They use us for what we're there for, but they need to teach us to get past that.
Oh, that's the truth.
And so that's why I'm growing out my facial hair, because my retirement date is April 30th. All right, but I'm trying to do the skill bridge, which is something new. I don't think you might have had that skill bridge.
No way. Nope.
No, man. Skill bridge, the way to go. I'm with Hiring Our Heroes. I'm doing things with Hiring Our Heroes. They're going to find me a job placement in order to intern my last 6 months in the military. And so my command has let me
Awesome.
go. Dude,
Awesome.
isn't that
Holy
freaking dope?
smokes. That is
About damn time. I
holy
gave 20
smokes.
years, give me my last 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, dude, like, therapy, I
It's
don't
the
care
way to
what type of
go.
alpha male you are. You can have the biggest muscles in the damn world. You can have the biggest freaking dong. I don't give a shit. When you take your own life
I don't got
because
that.
you can't handle your mental stuff, that's whenever it doesn't matter anymore. And that's when people are like, oh, well, he was a big ass alpha male, but now he's gone.
Yep.
So really,
Hey,
therapy is
Justin,
serious.
we gotta go to commercial break. We'll go commercial
All right,
break.
brother.
We'll come right back.
Let's do it.
Beijing has 3 goals working through the university system. The first is to influence the next generation of American leadership and how our rising crop of leaders perceives China. The second is to send Chinese students to American universities to acquire knowledge and skills, and then take that back to China. The third goal of Chinese operations on college campuses is intelligence, to collect sensitive information in research labs, especially at major research universities like Stanford and Harvard University. University presidents know this, and this is one reason why they're underreporting, misreporting, or keeping the names of foreign donors anonymous. They know what the Chinese are doing. They know why the Chinese give them so much money. They know their institutions are vulnerable to Chinese espionage. So why do they allow it? They're effectively inviting the Chinese to come in and steal American research.
All right. So thanks, Justin. Thanks for staying with us here. Thanks for, we had to go to a commercial break there. So, hey, man, pick up where you left off. You're leaving off with how military guys, they get broken, they get out, and they don't really find healthy ways to deal with the issues. You just keep going into that, man.
Yeah, man, of course. So the tools are out there. All right, that's the big thing. All right, the tools are out there, whether your command wants to know it or not. The tools are there. Family Counseling Center, they're there. You can go to your medical, your BAS, your RAS, whatever it is, and just go out there. Even if you just need to talk to somebody, you might not know anything's wrong with you, but more than likely there is something that's going to affect you. And the best thing that we can do, we're always going to be there for each other, right? But the best thing we can do is get that little extra help that we need before we transition out, or even after we transition out. Get that little help. A therapist don't judge you. They don't see you on the outside. You're not going to the grocery store and like, oh, there's my therapist. Hey, and they're not like, oh gosh, there's that guy with all those mental problems. That's not how it is.
Yeah.
So really, it's important to go out there and share. I didn't know I was an angry dude. I didn't know that I was, I yelled all the time. I didn't know all these things until I sat back and realized that, like, we need meditation. We need that silence. We need the quiet. We need the outdoors, and we need that community. Semper Fi in America's Fund has helped me out a lot, and they went through and they got me into leatherwork. They're the reason why I'm the leather worker I am today. And that's therapeutic to me. I come out here This is my safe haven. I build my leather stuff. I can do my art, and everything is peaceful. My kids come out here, they talk to me, they involve themselves. I become more of a family man. My business is growing. I, I'm putting myself into something that is worthwhile. Every month we give to a charity with my business. Like there's a purpose in life for everybody. It's not just the military. The military is just a stepping stone. It's a game. It's exactly what I said in the beginning. It is a game that you complete and then you move on to the next level. The next level is where, like, you know, the big boss has been beat, and the next level is like your fun time where you collect all the coins and you just enjoy the life that you're given. That is what we need to all understand. That you got 89.99s coming out. Those dudes come out, they don't know what to do. You ain't drilling, you ain't PTing, you're not doing the stuff that is just embodied into us. And those guys sit here and they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. They don't find a sense of purpose. And everyone's got the purpose. Find your purpose. Go to therapist, find your purpose, and master your life and just be amazing people. That's something I'm passionate about, man. And like, I know I went on a tangent, but it is so important to me. Stop killing yourself and just start getting help, because
Amen.
like, I'll take you to a therapist. I'll sit out in the parking lot and wait on your ass to get done, and I will take you home. I'll share a beer with you or whatever, and I will enjoy you still breathing next to me. That's what I care about,
I completely agree. You remember DeLong? He was in Powerline.
Ryan? I do. Yeah. Holy shit.
So he came unglued a few years ago, and he was on social media screaming about needing somebody. I'm like, hey, dude, this is my number. Call me. I'll be more than happy to listen. And so I listened, dude. I listened to the guy for an hour and a half. Just listen to him go. And like, hey, I'm here for you, man. I'm here for you. And I tried to give him a message of some of the pain that I've been through, just not to like one up him. I was just trying to relate to the guy, and he got mad at me, like cursed me out, that I'm making it all about me. And I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to like relate to you, and whatever, it just blowing off steam. And I did, it was in one ear out the other, and probably a few weeks later, he's on social media saying, the guys that do the 22 push-ups a day, what are you doing for me? How's that helping me? And this and that. And, and just kind of using social media to whine. And I'm like, listen, like, quit whining. Like, don't stop using social media just to whine. Like, if you use social media for it's what the good, and don't just whine. Just let us help you. And oh man, he went high and to the right, and he had his girlfriend and all sorts of people texting me, and it's just turned out to be just a mess. I just blocked them and moved on. And but honestly, those people are out there. You just need help, and that's all I was trying to do to the guy. I was just trying to give him an ear and trying to relate to him, like, hey, you're not alone, man. I'm here for you. I'm on the exact other side of the country, but I'm just here for you. It sucks, but I'll do what I can, but it is what it is.
Man, he was part of my first stack. He was part of my first stack of 06 whatever they were, or 63 whatever they were.
6212.
I'll never forget that.
Get
man.
A stack of 6212s. What was the other one that we would do? Oh, the Vortex generator oil. Go down to 542. Yep. Get a gallon of Vortex generator oil.
Yeah. Call down. Or that Bravo Alpha 1100 November string.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. And who was it? It came in after you, and we had him with a bag, one of the thin garbage can liners, and they're standing behind the jet getting exhaust sample.
Yes, you gotta get it, man.
Their cheeks are burnt.
It's important.
Oh man! Like,
You
oh
gotta
yeah,
you gotta check that exhaust.
we'd get like a piece of paper and like act like we're testing it, and like, nope, gotta go
It
again.
was probably
Like, oh
it was probably
no!
it was probably Steven. It was probably old Cy Reed, man. That dude.
It probably was, man. Holy smokes, those
That
were
dude was a
days.
trip too.
Holy smokes! All right, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
we beat each other's ears up. Tell me, when you hear the national anthem, you think of the American flag, man. What do you think
Hey, man. Like, so being here in SoCal, I go to Padres games sometimes, and you hear it, and you look around to people that are sitting down or that are just talking during it or whatever, and it's something that, like you said, it brings chills, man. It gives you the goosebumps, and I've started to wonder: is it just us? Is it just those that serve that get those goosebumps? We don't take it for granted, you know. Rabel didn't take it for granted,
of? Yes, sir.
you know. He he gave it. He
Mhm.
gave it every day until he lost his ability to give anymore. And
That
you,
boy
you
went out
sit
fighting
here,
too, boy. He went out fighting.
yeah, and Major Rabel at the time that I knew him, they don't get that opportunity to stand anymore. They don't get that opportunity to to cherish it, you know.
Yes, sir.
And I think that it's up to us as the American citizens to 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 continue that legacy our forefathers put in. Yeah, sure, we might not agree with a lot of the stuff that our forefathers did. Sure, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's ignorant at some point in their lives. All
Yeah,
right,
that's
but
true.
one thing has held true is that national anthem. We sit here and we defend this flag, the red, white, and blue, right? That the red of all of it means courage. It means just the the ability to protect this beautiful nation of ours. From the national parks to the beautiful beaches, everything that we have, the freedoms that we have. And it I think that nowadays a lot of people take it for granted. It is not on. It doesn't sparkle across social media. It doesn't you know uh, wave as much anymore. Um, it, it's there as a hey, go do colors. Hey, go do colors. There's a bugler that's actually out in town, and anytime the colors go half mast, she's out there. I don't know who she is. I don't know what she does. I've seen her bugle though every day that the colors go up. Whenever I'm taking my kids to school, if they're ever going half mast, she's not military that I know of. I don't know who she is, but she stands out there and she does her part. And as a matter of fact, I posted a video a few years ago. Um, it was around Veterans Day. I went to every major command on base, and um, and I played Amazing Grace on the bagpipes at every major command that I could get to. Naval Hospital on base, First Marine Regiment, a couple other places, but no one noticed me. There was one Marine that noticed me, and he's the one that took my video. And it it was during Veterans Day, and that seems to be the only time. Even on Fourth of July, I don't feel like people notice it anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because of it's because sure, we can say it's because of technology, but everybody's kind of wrapped up in themselves. You see it on the road, you see it when people are
Oh yeah.
driving, you see it at the grocery store, you see it in parking lots, you see it everywhere. The whole thing is we just need to look around. We need to pay attention to the people that are around us. What do they need? Uh, Being in SoCal, I have tons of illegals down here, but you wouldn't believe how many illegal immigrants down here want to be a part of a nation that is united, like that is the way we are, and they try so hard. Yeah, sure. There's the bads. I'm not gonna say that there's not some bads, but illegals that are here breaking the law in order to get a citizenship.
Yeah.
They know what the colors are. They know what the national anthem is. They care, and they want to be part of something big. And that's something you don't see. Dudes just drinking and shooting the shit while there's dudes falling out of the sky, with an American flag attached to them, and it's
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
that was tough to watch.
wow, like you got dudes just killing it. Like they're doing great stuff, and you're sitting here drinking a beer in a country that these dudes that are falling out of an aircraft right now that are trying to, give a show to you are basically, you're just ignoring them. You just don't you don't care at this point. Like
It's
I
tough,
think we need
man.
to get back. We need to get back to the America that is good, and it ain't red or blue. I know that you want political talk, and I'll give you political talk. It ain't red or blue, man. It's
I
not red
agree.
or blue.
I 100% agree.
I am so sick of red and blue. I am honestly sick of it.
You're the
I
majority. You
yeah,
are. We are the majority.
but
We're sick of it.
so it takes us voting local. All right, that's one thing that I'm starting to notice. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna be raw as you want. I didn't vote for a president until I was 30. Oh shit, 6. Sorry, I forgot. Woo! Forgot how old I was. Jeez, so I was 36 years old because I don't want to vote for the least corrupt individual. So I went through and I filtered everything the way that I wanted to filter it. And I voted for the person that I voted for based off of their beliefs. And taking away human rights is garbage. First off, garbage. If you want to be a woman, that's not my business. If you want to be a woman, pay taxes, and be part of America and still uphold the Constitution as a man now, that's not my business. If you want to abort a baby because you were raped or incest or whatever, that's not my business. What is my business is that I have healthy Americans that want to contribute to an America that is going to be one nation and work together for the greater good. That's the problem, man. I feel like so many people want to force their beliefs down people's throats. I'm not one nation under God. I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I I I am one nation under your beliefs. And as long as you're not hurting anybody, and as long as you're not forcing your beliefs down somebody else's throat, man, do you?
That's
Because at the end of the day, man, you're contributing to the to America. You're not hurting nobody. You're not breaking no laws. You are contributing to America. We are going to be the greatest nation someday. Right now, I don't think we are.
yeah. I think we have. I think we have a long way to go to get back to some level of self-respect. Because we lost our way. It's a level
Mm-hmm.
of selfishness, and just like we talked about earlier, we live in a world where people make problems to solve and to glorify themselves, and you can just sit back and kind of scratch your head like, well, what are you doing? What you're doing is not productive. You're making problems to bring you have a solution before you even have a problem, and then you're making a problem so you can
Absolutely.
use your solution. You know,
Absolutely.
and I completely I'm a little bit more blue than you think I am, despite my shirt and my smart weather. You know, but I'm pretty pro-choice. I honestly I support the statistics. I I went to business school, got my MBA, and I completely support the statistics. I completely support the statistics on being pro-choice. If people want to make a fruit salad of their baby, it's not my decision. Just don't take it the next level and threaten somebody's life because they don't agree with you. I don't agree with that. I think that's asinine. Also, the some of the hot political topics, you know, um, you know, gay marriage and that type of stuff. Once again, we served with guys that were homosexual. We didn't care. I mean, we cared when we took them to Iraq with us, and they had it drawn up by a lawyer what to say not to get in trouble, and then they went to the CO and then got sent back. That's when I had a problem, because it was very selfish of what they did. But we never had a problem with any of them. Serving and duty with them all night. In the barracks, never had a problem with them. Once again, what I have a problem with is when people that are doing the transition and they're pushing their beliefs on my 8-year-old daughter or my 10-year-old son. That's where I'm like, okay, you know what, I've never interfered with what you're doing, so don't come in my business here and in my little utopia and start messing with what I have. I didn't mess with you. I don't push my stuff on you. Don't push your stuff on me. And so we see very we can relate to what we believe. And that's the raw part. You gotta be raw. And I think a lot of us feel the exact same way. How we feel is the majority. Everyone feels that. I mean, most of the people feel this way. The problem is, and this is the problem, is people in general, if they join the Marine Corps, Army, whatever, even people that haven't, there's a lot of very, very broken people in our country, and they do not have healthy ways of dealing with that emotional terror, and they'll take it, and they're just taking it high and to the right, and for some reason whatsoever, people just believe every single flipping thing that comes out of Washington D.C., even though those people in Washington do nothing but use hyperbole and just garbage. They'll say something that's completely false, and then you'll jump on Facebook or Twitter, and it's regurgitated 18 different ways. Like, geez, you guys, does anybody flip and think for themselves nowadays?
No.
And that's where it's different from where we were 18 years ago, 20 years ago. That's the line. That's where it goes from being black and white to this camouflage, rainbow, whatever you want to call it. It's going bonkers, and unfortunately, I don't think there's a solution in sight. But I completely agree.
It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. I honestly believe we really need to start local. We need to start local and get our local representatives to start pushing it up. DC is kind of set in their ways, and they're either one way or the other. I think we need to stop believing in this whole red and blue, and we really need to think about what can we do together. I'm starting to look at all the ballots and everything like that, because we're going through we're about to go through our vote, right? And so I'm starting to look at the ballots, and I'm starting to look at all these things that pop up on TV. If you talk shit about another representative, I'm not voting for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Like if that's what it takes for you to try to sway me, then that I don't want you in office. All right. And most of the time it's those silent people that are just saying, this is what I want to do, that you say, okay, well then I want you. So I really think we need to start local. If we build our local and we push our local, I mean, as you know, I got a governor right now, and I can talk smack about a governor because I don't work for the damn governor. I work for the president, right? So I can talk smack all day. Governor Newsom came out on a Friday and said everybody needs to buy electric cars. Then on that following Monday, he came out and said, everybody shut your lights off because we're running out of electricity. What type of ignorant fuck says some shit like that? I mean, come on.
I tell you, I have more respect for my belly button lint than I do Gavin Newsom. So I'm not going to have anything good to say.
I don't get it, brother.
That
I don't
guy.
get it. Like, so that's the problem. And I'm going to tell you, all the chaos is moving. Like all the chaos, all the corrupt folks, the minded folks, are moving to the East Coast or to the east of the Mississippi. Me being from Nashville, Tennessee, I was raised pretty strict red. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm not going to go into that, but red. No gays and all that stuff. All right, I don't believe that shit no more. All right, I love everyone. I
The
love
same way, man.
loving. I love loving. Um, and so all these people from California are moving to Tennessee, and my family hits me up all the time, like, "What in the hell are you sending us?" So like it takes us showing that like their thought process is not working in order to get people to start seeing that maybe what they're thinking is a little wrong. And like with me, 17 years ago, I wasn't the same person as I am now after being with my wife. My wife from New Jersey has changed me and taught me, excuse me, to loving people. And I wasn't raised that way. That's just not the way I was raised. So I'm thankful to have the wife that I have. And um, I think people just need to start, people need to stop worrying so much about themselves and start worrying about letting people have the freedoms that we are supposed to be providing.
And ultimately, man, it's really what it comes down to. And one side won't budge and the other side won't budge. No matter what. It's like any relationship you have. Either if you're in a relationship with a best friend, or got a buddy in the Marine Corps, or your wife, or you get in a conversation with dialogue, with true dialogue, with a complete stranger. If you're all of them, you have a relationship. If it's a deep relationship or it's very mild, to non-existent. If you in a basic conversation with a stranger, you have a relationship, right? If you're not respecting the other person and listening with your ears and not your mouth, you're never going to accomplish anything. And that's kind of where we are. There's no budge. There's no meeting in the middle. There's no compromise. There's no empathy and there's no compassion. And it's tough because it's gonna be. I don't wish the end. I don't. I want to see us prosper. I want to see us make strides in life, and I want to see my kids grow up. But man, we're testing the parameters of the abilities of human beings, and it's just sad to watch.
Yeah. I always say that. I always tell my kids, you can hear everybody, but listening is the key, and that's a huge thing. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
I have some brilliant kids, and I have tried to teach them that you can hear everything around you, but if you listen, if you stop thinking and you listen to what people are saying, you'll get so much further. Whether you agree with them or not, you'll get so much further.
Yep. You got to get over yourself before you can at least even have a conversation with someone. So
Absolutely.
it's funny when I started this. My biggest problem in my life was my ability to communicate. And so I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start podcasting and just talking to people, and it's going to open up my ability to communicate. And it has. And, you know, I can't tell guys like you and everyone I have on my show, I can't tell you guys enough how much, number one, how much I appreciate you. And number two, just, you know, not just appreciation, but, you know, how much I care about you guys, because, man, I couldn't do it without you, because that's 100% truth, and can't say it enough, man. So, Edwards, I love you.
Yeah,
dude.
man.
It's been a long time.
I hate that you're so far away, but I'm glad that you can see true friends whenever you sent me a text message and I felt like I had just been talking to you the day before. Like, good old Mike. that we shared a 2 TV in Iraq together.
TV. Oh man.
And what the fuck was that? A PlayStation that I had back then? A PlayStation 2.
We had a PlayStation 2. I had a PlayStation 2. You had your computer, and we put so many cartoons through it that we crashed it. So
hey, you got me on that damn show 24 hours. That's what you did.
24.
And Desperate Housewives. You stuck
Oh,
me on
the
Desperate
Desperate
Housewives, which my
Housewives.
wife hated. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was a memory that I suppressed because I
Oh, 24 Desperate Housewives.
And
that was so funny.
Desperate Housewives. Why did you do that? Why? Oh my
man.
gosh.
Now, see right there. That's true love. That's true love.
Is my thumb really up in this damn podcast? Stop. Where's my thumb?
Smokes. You crazy.
I can't shut my thumb down. If my thumb's still up, okay.
No,
I think it's good.
You're good. It's cleared on my end. You're all right, brother.
Why did you ruin my life with Desperate Housewives? Oh my gosh. I cannot believe that I suppressed that. I need to go back to my therapist now because of you.
And you are welcome, sir.
And you're welcome. No, man. Like, I think we're learning. I honestly think we're learning. Like, I think that our generation, us as the next leaders moving into this position, I think we're learning from the past, and I think we just need to be strong, but not stupid. Okay, like raiding the Capitol, I think we could have done something different there. We could have thought that through a little bit better. I think that could have been thought through a little bit better. All right, but I think that we're learning as the next leadership of our country. We are learning, and we need to stick together. We need to become stronger mentally stronger, not just physically stronger. Definitely.
I think the first step, and I don't do a lot of telling you what I think. I usually stick with facts. In this case, I'm going to tell you what I think. I don't think it's ever going to get better until we just completely get rid of all social media. If we get rid of all social media in the United States, I think that'll be the start. Until then, I think we're screwed.
So with social media, with like my page for my business, I'm required to vet it and approve some stuff. I think this whole fact checker shit is getting a little out of control because you have people that sway more to one way that are fact checking. I think that our news needs to be filtered, not censored. All right. What I'm trying to say is our news needs to be pure. Who was that? Cronkite, right? Cronkite? I think Cronkite was the last individual that I can remember that used to give black and white news, like legit news. Walter Cronkite gave legit news. I was on duty like last month, and they had CNN and Fox up, and they're giving like two different, red and blue type shit.
Mm-hmm.
We need to stop that shit. Shut down. So social media is kind of fucked up, all right? But I think that news needs to be shut down. There should be no red or blue news. It should just be the news, like the legit news. There should be people both red and blue or whatever, red, blue. What are we calling the center? White? Are we going to call it white?
Dude,
That's kind of ridiculously racist. But what I'm saying is like whoever is purple. We'll call them purple. All right. Whoever's purple, all those three people should all be together to all give the proper fucking news, man. I am so sick. My kids watch like CNN Today or something like that at their school. It's kind of like thrown at them, but CNN is more, of a left type thing, right? But my kids say that they don't do that stuff, but I feel like they're like subliminally doing that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I think we really need to just give up pure news, man. I need to know the real news. I should not have to open up, 2 or 3 different news channels in order to get my thought process on it. So like Facebook, yeah, it's cool. I saw you posted something the other day about fuel. And
well,
I mean, I don't know
was,
how much
I was in oil for 7 years. So I own my own oil wells and the whole entire thing. So it's just something that I'm completely passionate about and something that I know a great deal about. And 98% of the people in our country don't like even the stuff that they think they know. They have no idea. And so
hey, man, it's whatever the news tells them though.
Yeah, it completely is, and that's why
that's my point, bro.
I completely.
That's my point.
I completely agree.
Right now, I'm paying on base. All right, over here in California, on base, I'm paying $4.89 for unleaded. All right, $4.89 is dope. You say it's insane, but that's dope compared to me paying $6. I fill up because I have to drive my kids to and from school. I fill up roughly 2 or 3 times a week in my Nissan Pathfinder. All right, like that's a lot of fucking money in order for my kids to get an education. But the blue is like all about education, and the red is all about military. But like my kids aren't given a proper education unless I take them to a school. So like it's so much just blah. And then I'm paying all this money for gas. But then hold up, California also charges me, which they just stopped it. They were going to start charging me by miles. So every year I would have to give my mileage.
Oh my god!
And they would give me a tax on that, right? They would give me a tax on that. But they stopped that. Luckily, I saw it today on social media. It could have been a lie though, but faction just didn't come in and clear it out. But the point is like we need to kind of standardize some stuff. We need to really come together, get rid of this whole what's that? The View, that shit needs to get flushed.
Oh man,
I don't know what the fuck that is.
But they don't even know what they're doing. They just get up there and just sling stuff back and forth. They have no plan.
Yeah, let's just talk about random stuff.
All right, man. I got about 30 seconds. Tell me something that you learned, and let's kick this thing off and end it on a good note.
Something I learned is my brother is always there for me. All right, and something I want to say is love people, man. We're all freaking Americans. Love Americans, and no matter what we believe, always just kind of filter and work with each other. If your dude's left-handed or right-handed or whatever, I'll work with them. They might be able to provide something else for you.
You're the man, dude. Always love you, man.
No, you are.
Holy smokes.
Always love you too, dude.
20 years, it's almost like I never left your side. I love you, man. You take care. You keep your family safe, and I won't wait another 20 years to reach out and talk to you. How's that?
Absolutely not, brother.
All right, dude. You take care, man. We'll talk to you soon. We're going to roll into commercial. See, I told you Brian was an amazing guy, right? Hey, thanks everyone for listening, everyone for watching the third day of 11 days saluting a veteran, 2 Veterans Day, and appreciating, or not appreciating, but just listening to me. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone in the Weekly Round universe. See you tomorrow.